think we're live.
Oh, yeah.
We're live, friends. We are definitely live. We're live on Facebook. We are talking about Nashua PAL. We are talking about New Hampshire Gives. And we're talking about building on hope. So let me start from the beginning, folks. For those of you that have never heard of Nashua PAL, thanks for tuning in. Nashua PAL is an organization that I see people popping on and off. See, there's excitement already about being live on Facebook. We're excited. Everybody's excited. PAL is an organization, our mission, connecting cops and kids. We do that through our three pillars: education, activity, and leadership. Everything we're doing is in those three main areas. It's education because our youth need to stay in school, need to be active, need to be motivated to go to school and to succeed. Activity, sports programs galore. Some of you have probably heard about our PAL Force football and cheer program, our PAL cross country program, our Canines winter cheer, street hockey program. We have sports programs throughout the city. And leadership. We believe strongly that leadership, especially in tough neighborhoods, is our responsibility to make sure that the neighbors, that our young friends are excited about being the right kind of leader in their neighborhood. If we're not there, it's possible that our leaders will be not the right kinds of leaders. And we want to prevent that. We want to encourage. I'm seeing, people getting excited about this live session. I think we have 17, 18, 19 people. We are talking about New Hampshire Gives, and we're talking about building on hope. And let's bring in some of our guests so we can talk about this project and how to give tonight. Now, don't click to give until 6 p.m. There we go. Our first guest, the Chief of Police for Nashua Police Department. We've got Gary Thomas from North Point Construction. And there's Brenda Barron outside in a beautiful patio area. Funny story about friends, just to share a little video. When Brenda bought her house, I wanted to buy that house because it's beautiful. And she took what was an already beautiful house and made it even more beautiful. So that's just a little share.
That's why I'm in the middle of both of you, because I got to keep you two separated. Sean's still mad.
So I just had a little technical difficulty and had to run outside because my router just completely stopped. So I apologize. I'm outside, but I don't apologize because it's beautiful out here.
We want you to enjoy it, Brenda. And that's the beauty of being live. And then I see Gary. Gary's got some.
Hi, everyone.
I heard a slight delay there.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a delay. I don't know. It seemed like as soon as I stuck my camera on, can you guys hear me okay?
Oh, yeah, I think you're good to go, Gary. Yeah, I heard you loud and clear. And Mike and Brenda, I think we're all good. Brenda, I see a little bit of a delay, but I think we'll work our way through it. And so we have three members of our. Oh, we got comments to say we love PAL. We got comments of you guys rock. This is pretty exciting. I've never been Facebook Live, really. This is my first official Facebook Live session, so thanks for joining me. I'm hoping that maybe I could start with Brenda, and if she could tell us a little bit about Brenda. For the folks who don't know, Brenda is part of this team called Building on Hope. It's a group of contractors, designers, electricians, this folks that get together every other year. And Gary, you've been involved a number of years.
Yeah, I've been involved for a couple of events now. So I guess this would be like my 5th or 6th year. So.
And if folks have never heard of Building on Hope before, Brenda was part of the steering committee that helped chose Nashua PAL. So every other year they choose a nonprofit, and we are doing a major renovation at the Youth Safe Haven. And if you had never heard of the Youth Safe Haven, go ahead and Google us after. But Brenda, if you could tell us about the process and why PAL?
Sure. Building on Hope, like you said, it was started 10 years ago, and it's just a group of just a very small group of contractors and architects and designers, and they decided they'd try to do something with big impact in the community. So every 2 years they pick and they solicit nonprofits, and we go through a process of vetting all of the applications. And it's really excited because last year was my first, 2 years ago at the Crisis Center up in Concord. That was my first project, and I was brought in literally 3 months before reveal. So I didn't have a lot of time, but I was so hooked on being involved with Building on Hope and becoming a steering committee member. So we vet all of the applications, and we kind of decide, really what is the biggest project with the biggest impact, the most impact for the community. And whole committee, we drive in a bunch of organizations and look at the overall need. Nashua PAL, because Nashua native, I was advocating for the 2 applicants in Nashua, but I was really excited. And it was funny because the steering committee was a little bit nervous because I'm the only person from Nashua, and they wondered if Nashua would be able to handle it. Would they rally? Would they come through for everybody? And it was really amazing. Sean, your energy is just tremendous, and I remember us asking you, within 6 or 8 weeks, you had to have like 5 people signed up. And I think it was like 1 week and you had 20 people. And, so they knew that you were going to take it seriously. They knew that everybody was going to take it seriously. And we're all really overwhelmed. And the thing about Nashua PAL is that, in all my years here, I never really knew what Nashua PAL and the Youth Safe Haven was all about. I always saw Nashua PAL as, the football and cheerleading teams, and you see the track and the boxing and stuff. But when you introduced us and you showed us what the Youth Safe Haven is, and, and you said that in one of your videos, it's a youth safe haven, and it's a tough part of Nashua, and these kids are at risk, and you guys, the value of the community, they do community service, they learn how to, earn PAL bucks to earn their way to field trips, and it's engaging with the police department. We would go and visit over there, and we'd just see a cruiser pull up and they're playing basketball with the kids. So when you have such a diverse group of kids engaging with it, that's what the community needs, especially at a time like this. You see that you guys are grooming them to be like really good citizens. So we're thrilled to be doing.
We're trying. Brenda, your audio is a little bit dicey at moments. I heard almost all of that, but there was some moments that you were in and out, just to be aware of.
Okay.
I'm seeing comments. Liz is saying such a worthwhile project. Congrats, PAL. Steph's saying amazing team. We got some more love out there. The Facebook Nation is in love with this project, so so am I. Let's get in love. Speaking of the project, Gary, could you tell us a little bit? I want to get to why you put yourself through this, but if you could give us some updates on what you've been doing so far and what we've been working on.
Sure. So I first gotten involved with PAL probably about right around 5 years ago now, and maybe even longer, because I was brought into it from a friend of mine, Brian Lefebvre, who's very involved through Peter's Auto Group. At the time, we were doing a big addition onto Peter's Auto, and Brian had kind of, brought the PAL organization to light for me, because he knew I've been involved with the Nashua Boys and Girls Club as well for probably about 10 years now. And, for me, anything having to do with the kids on giving back, Katie's Closet too. My wife is very involved with Katie's Closet. She's a board member on Katie's Closet. Oh, really? And anything to do with the whole Nashua, I was born and raised in the area. So I enjoy giving back, especially having anything to do with the kids. So the Building on Hope, similar to Brenda, I was involved in the one in the Crisis Center up in Concord, and then also a few years back was the Girls Inc. when we did some of that. So this one here, when I heard about the PAL organization, and Jonathan Halley from Warren Street Architects had approached me about it and see if I could get involved. And much like a lot of the other general contractors from the area, so excited that PAL was chosen as the this year's final decision. So so what we've been doing for the last few weeks, even though it's a little bit riddled with the whole COVID situation, we're trying to keep this project rolling and keeping it fun. So over the past few weeks, we've been making some strides on, we've got the elevator shaft built. It's all enclosed, weather tight. We're just about ready to insulate. And then also the front stairs, Jim and his team were able to get rid of the old concrete and brick stairs out in the front and do a beautiful front porch. Right now, we only have the temporary railings because SL Chasey is making the railings right now. So they've been a huge benefactor in this as well. So shout out to SL Chasey for giving the time that they have been. But we you know, as general contractors, we're relying a lot on our subcontractors' involvement as well. You know, guys like Legacy Building Systems, Metro Walls, Optiline, all these guys are really, they're giving a lot of their time, and EnviroVantage, they're giving a lot of their time and energy to jump in on this project and get as much done over the, we initially had it down as, you know, about 4 weeks time frame to try to get most of this done, but we're trying to practice the whole social distancing thing while on site and keeping everybody safe. So it's taken probably going to drag out for another couple of months, you know, and get Sean back in the place.
You can start a chant before Thanksgiving.
Before Thanksgiving. That's right.
Yeah. And we're excited to get, you know, a lot of the kids from the neighborhood are talking about what the heck is going on in there. You told us, hey, Sean, you told me it was going to be done by now, that kind of stuff. So the list that you mentioned, only a few of the names. There's more than 300 names on the list so far, and that list is growing every day. I just got a text message that it looks like we're going to get the security system donated to us, which before we thought was going to be a major cost. So it's
nice.
constantly flowing and flowing and flowing. And Gary, North Point has been more than helpful to this project, as you know, but we appreciate all the help you've given us so far. We're 6 minutes from 6 o'clock. So I just want to remind people, if you're watching this now, don't click the link until 6 o'clock, because at 6 o'clock, all the donations up to $1,000 per are matched. So if somebody is looking at this and they're thinking, oh, I can't wait to give Building on Hope, oh, those PAL guys, that's exciting. $500 becomes $1,000. $1,000 becomes $2,000. There's prizes for the first gift. There's drawings for every 2-hour period from 6 to 8, from 8 to 10. I think from 10 to midnight, and then there's an overnight. So if tonight you're seeing this video and it's midnight, first of all, great, I'm glad you're awake. But click the link and give tonight, because throughout this 24 hours, we have from 6 p.m., which is now 5 minutes away, to 6 p.m. tomorrow, June 10th, to give within the 24-hour period. And there's the donors, so New Hampshire Charitable Foundation and its donors, including the Thomas Haas Fund, the John F. Swope Fund, have donated up to $250,000 to match all those donations that are come throughout the state. So I think there's some magic in our Building on Hope project, because it is New Hampshire based. It's New Hampshire folks giving to a New Hampshire organization. So if that inspires folks to give, we hope that they give during these 24 hours, because that'll be all matched. So Chief, you're up. I'd love to hear, you're on the board of directors for Nashua PAL. Can you just give us some flavor on what you think about the PAL mission, or things you've seen and loved within the PAL organization?
Yeah, sure. Well, that's a pretty long-winded answer I could give you with that. Been on the PAL board for a number of years now. The program is unbelievable on so many different levels. The relationships that the police officers in Nashua are able to build with the kids. We have one full-time officer assigned that's there every day, helping the kids with homework, helping them on trips and field trips and organizing programs. but also we have a whole ton of officers that participate at different levels of coaching. Like Brenda said, we'll just show up and play basketball with the kids. They'll get out of the car. It's a great opportunity for the kids to see police officers as people, and the police officers to get to know the kids and a little bit about their story and what their life's about. So it's to me, it's what PAL's mission is, connecting police officers to kids. And some of the qualities and the character skills that you develop there, um, community and giving and helping others. One of the stories I've told a lot to people is, like Brenda mentioned, the kids do homework and they do volunteer work and they clean up the neighborhood. And when they do all that stuff, they earn PAL bucks. At the end of the year, around Christmas time, these kids have whatever PAL bucks they've acquired, and they come into the PAL building, and Sean and his crew kind of make it like a downstairs is a big mall, and upstairs is a whole bunch of volunteers wrapping presents. So the kids get to go downstairs and buy Christmas presents for their family or their brothers and sisters. And if you've never seen it, it's one of the most moving times throughout the year when you see these kids and what they buy and how excited they are to be able to buy stuff for their family members who may not necessarily get a lot. And they're so excited to give them something. It's one of the most heart-wrenching things about PAL. The other thing that PAL is able to do is to get mentors to kind of encourage kids to do more with their lives and to strive for higher goals. We're really hoping with this Building on Hope edition to bring in some technologies to be able to teach these kids some skills, technologically wise, that will set them up better for maybe some future jobs, technology jobs, of which Nashua has a ton of. We have a ton of all different levels of manufacturing, lasers, machining, and just high level stuff that these kids can get to work through mentorships programs with, which is what we're trying to put together. This new facility that we're looking to build is going to have 3D laser printers, get kids learning how to do that, computer CAD stuff, all different programs that are going to give them a set of skills that'll make them marketable and make them very, very valuable in the city of Nashua and all the businesses that we have. So it's really cool on a whole bunch of different levels.
We're getting a comment. I don't have a last name, but Elizabeth says Nashua has the best police department, a true treasure. Jen Miller is sending me a note that Jen Miller is going to post the link for New Hampshire Gives. So you'll see that in the comments. And then if you're watching this not live later on, you'll see the link directly in the Nashua PAL page. We are 1 minute to go live, so we'll be able to see some of the giving that's going to happen. Again, all the donations that are given during this 24-hour period from June 9th at 6 p.m. to June 10th at 6 p.m. will be matched. And there's donations throughout to incentivize folks. So the first gift, organizations that have the most individual gifts, the folks that raise the most money, there's financial incentives for the organization. So if you're seeing this video, share, love it. I'm seeing Steve says very groundbreaking, up to $1,000 until 250K is expended. That is correct, Steve. Bring it on. Put the money down. We're a minute away. So while we're talking, I agree that the holiday time is pretty special. We created those PAL dollars as an incentive. A lot of the PAL programming is incentive based, just teaching young people to get out of bed and let's go to school, but then let's succeed. Let's kick butt. Let's win. We like to win everything. It is now 6 o'clock. So if you're watching this live, click the give, and everything will be matched up to $1,000 tonight. I'm going to pass it back, and really we could just spend a couple minutes talking about all this stuff. There's so many things to cover. The project is huge. It's this over $1 million project. When we first started, we would have been happy with some extra coats of paint and shifting some things around. Now we have an elevator shaft that is installed. Thank you, North Point. We have what's going to be this crazy creative learning time. Brenda, can you tell us about Creative Learning Center and some of the stuff that's going to be happening in there? Because our kids are excited, our members are excited, our families are excited. So tell us what we're getting excited about.
Sure. So I'm working with Turnstone Corporation and New Hampshire builders, and we're going to be we decided to take over one of the bigger rooms financially wise, because I'm teamed up with the chief, and we have the ability to do some fundraising, and we knew that this room was gonna have a lot that we would need to put into it, other than just all the building stuff. So, we have all brand new furniture, flooring, and lighting coming in. The furniture is specially designed by a company that's for school age children. We have a lot of technology, computers. There's Chromebooks that are going to be just exactly what the kids, will be using in school. So we're going to have the tools there for them. There's going to be there's some. I interviewed some of my colleagues, and they talked about the science and technology. What would kids like to do? We have some robots that you program with iPads, and it teaches them how to actually do software coding. So it's not just making pretty walls right now for that room. It's a lot more, because we want the kids to really be able to compete and to have all kinds of skills that will take them into the future very easily. So we're working really hard on that. We've done a lot of fundraising. We're still a little bit behind, and the whole COVID thing, it had some people pulling back on what they had committed to, and understandably. But like you were saying, this whole project is volunteer and donations, 100%, and it's a $1.2 million project. We're 85% of the way there. We have a few grants that we're applying for. Hopefully, we'll get them. So we're still short between $50,000 and $75,000 total for the project. So, but it's going to be amazing, because that's my room, but I know these designers and these contractors, and they are all top notch. This is going to be.
And Brenda, you just froze again. It's going to be amazing, I bet you were going to say, because it is. It's crazy. We're adding, oh, there you go. You're all right. But it's going to be amazing. The ADA, adding access to the building is going to allow us to host community events. And we have folks we had a young man who broke his leg twice in one summer. And we learned in that lesson how we just weren't ready for that. The building was not ready. And now we're moving walls and making a place that our youth can be proud of, but also where they can thrive. It's exciting. A couple of comments. I see Matt Plant's saying, great team, awesome kids. Jen Jordan's so proud of the program. I got a shout out to Miss Sharina, Miss Jayla, Miss Jen, Miss Iskar, Miss Jen with one N, and Officer Mike, all watching now, sort of giving comments on how excited they too about the project. So we have a small staff, and we have hundreds and hundreds of volunteers. So this Building on Hope project is really what PAL does all the time, is collect spectacular people that are motivated and excited to give.
Hey, Sean, can I jump in for a second?
Please do.
You mentioned, the couple hundreds of volunteers. I think it's important for everybody out there to know how amazing the construction crews are. All the electrical crews, the HVAC guys, the people getting food. These are folks that are donating their own time and money, and we just threw them a major curveball with COVID. They had dedicated a good week to committing to this project. With the COVID, it's now stretched out over several months, and everybody's changed gears. Some people have lost donations because of people being out of work, but it seems to me that everybody is stepping up in different ways, and people are still committed. And it's amazing to me how many of these businesses, in Nashua in particular, care so much about the community, and they're invested. They want to know how to help, and they bring their skills and they bring what they can to the table. And every time somebody in the weekly meeting says, "Hey, I need this," somebody else says, "Oh, this guy will take care of it," or "This lady's got it," and it's all set. They're gonna donate this. The amount of work that's going into this building, from being donated, but through time, efforts, and skills, is just amazing. And the building is going to be impressive. The program is impressive, as you know, we talk about all the time. But the crews that are involved, Gary, you've just done so much already out of your own time and pocket. It's amazing. People would be floored at how much you do for this community in this particular project. So I think a shout out goes to all those volunteers.
I didn't know the four of us are all just Nashua folks. Just there's something there too, just you can feel the energy. You can feel how much love the folks from Nashua understand this is a special place and how we're strengthening it from the inside out with this project. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, you know what's really exciting too, Sean, is that it's really cool because you talk about how many volunteers, and as Chief Kerrigan just mentioned, that it's a bunch of general contractors that, you know, in many cases we're considered competitors, but we're all sitting right beside each other, hammering this thing out together, you know, as a team, which is, I that's the piece of it that I enjoy. You know what I mean? It's the camaraderie of working with other GCs that, you know, under normal circumstances we might be bidding against each other, but in this case we're all, you know, there together to build this thing for Nashua, you know, for the kids in Nashua. So it's exciting.
I love bringing people together.
Yeah.
I'm seeing donations from Gwen. Thank you, Mike, Jen, a few others. Thank you. This is, like I said before, all these donations during this 24-hour period will be matched up to $1,000 each. So if you are looking to give to PAL, looking to give to Building on Hope, this is the time to do it because your donation will be doubled up to $250,000, which is pretty wild. And it's a bit of a competition. We love all of our fellow organizations, but that $250,000 is statewide. So it's the first organization to, you know, if we get lots and lots of donations here out of the gate, we can maximize on that $250,000. We of course want to share with our friends in New Hampshire, but this Building on Hope project, as we just talked about, is pretty special. So give.
Please.
What else? Who? Yeah. Anyone want to call anybody out? I'm seeing Candace is saying go Brenda. Anybody? This is your time. We're live on Facebook. You could call out a friend and say, hey, you guy, don't forget. Anybody got anybody they want to call out? It's like live television, except it's on a little phone.
I wish I was.
Maybe next time. So we've been on for about a half hour, and in Facebook world, that might as well be 3 days. So I'll leave it up if anybody has any last minute comments, just to close us out. And I appreciate, again, everybody who is watching this call. Learn about Nashua PAL. Go to the Building on Hope webpage, or go to nashuapal.com and learn more about how you can get involved. But anybody got any last comments for us?
I do, actually. You know, we keep talking about how much everybody's giving, and I want to just kind of say thank you, Sean, because ours is a short little window that we're kind of helping out the cause here, but this is your life every single day. So thank you, and Jen, for being part of the Nashua PAL organization and helping out the kids. So kudos to you.
Totally.
Right there.
Yep.
Right back at you, friends. Right back at you. It takes a village. So I'm not exaggerating that PAL is built on hundreds and hundreds of volunteers. I think we're over 800 volunteers, thousands of kids in the program. We strive, we succeed based on folks like all of you, and folks that are listening today. I thank you if you have any involvement in PAL, because every little bit helps, whether you be somebody at the Youth Safe Haven helping with an hour of homework, or you're coaching a team for a season, or everything in between. It's a commitment, and I know we're not getting rich for our volunteers, and we just thank you, everybody. It's amazing. Oh, Ben Stussy saying hi. Look at that. All right, so I'm gonna, unless anybody else has a close, really, I just want to say thank you to Brenda, thank you Gary, and thank you Mike. This is our first go at this. Maybe we'll put everybody on the Building on Hope call live one day. You know, they'll see 100 people on here. How chaotic and wonderful would that be? I thank you for your evening. I wish everyone out there in Facebook Nation a wonderful evening. And don't forget to give, because all your donations within these 24 hours are going to be matched for Nashua PAL. So let's do it. Share with your friends, like it, hashtag it, do the thing that you know how to do. Good night.
Good night.